You don't decapitate demons to look cool anymore. You do it because there's no other choice. That shift from ritualized choreography to desperate improvisation is what makes the Dark Ages so different. Violence isn't sacred here, it's survival. The Dark Ages is the messiest Doom has felt since the 90s, and I mean that in the best way possible. Doom has always been about hectic chaos and unrestrained violence as you sprint around the map at full speed, unleashing white-hot lead into unholy flesh. But the reboot reinvented Doom from the ground up while still remaining loyal to the original's identity, and it introduced the glory kill system, which gave combat a stylistic garnish that was unrivaled in modern shooters and encouraged aggressive play so you could frequently heal damage. Then it added the chainsaw, which had a similar effect on ammo. Then Doom Eternal built on this resource management system by incorporating the flamethrower for armor packs and the crucible for instant kills. In doing so, Eternal crafted a masterpiece system that it dubbed Combat Chess, which required the player to constantly respond and adapt to different strategies. But this presented a problem for the sequel. They can't possibly iterate on this system anymore, because adding even one more reason to stop the flow of combat for a microsecond would probably be the straw that broke the camel's back and obliterate the pace of battle. So in the same way the Dark Ages goes backwards in terms of timeline, the development focus returned to the original style of Doom and abandoned the resource management system entirely. Well, maybe not entirely, but heavily streamlined it into one item, the shield. But in writing this section of my argument, I realized I can make an entire video just about the shield, so I'll stick to the glory kill point for this video. Removing the glory kill system undoubtedly has its downsides. For example, the spectacle that previous encounters brought with them is all but erased. But Doom is not about spectacle, it's about pure undistilled raw gameplay, and by trimming off the last minuscule piece of fat it had left, the Dark Ages has created something ironically divine. The biggest improvement that comes with this streamlining is the momentum of battle. Doom has always been an unrelentingly demanding title, requiring much more attention and reflexes than other shooters. For example, while I was playing the Dark Ages, my dad walked past and commented on how it was incredible that I didn't feel nauseous playing such a fast-paced game. And where the glory kills served as mini breathers for you to readjust your senses before diving back into the carnage, by removing them, Doom is able to reach its purest form, where you can truly taste the desperation that each large-scale battle brings with it. There's no doubt that this is the most excessive title in the franchise, but it's for an entirely different reason than Eternal, which asked you to continuously calculate what resources you had left to work with. The Dark Ages forces you to constantly figure out how to flow from one kill to the next, as it gives you absolutely no time to recalibrate and instead expects hyper reactions in order to survive. Combat is more frantic and instinctual, as you feel guided by the unrelenting emotion that the Slayer has in all these battles. But where the Slayer still feels rage, you feel intense focus as you keep up with the extraordinary pace. I would like to make an editor's note here that it only occurred to me during the editing process that I played this game at normal difficulty with the speed turned all the way up. As such, the slow motion effect during melees still felt incredibly brisk to me, and I failed to realize that most players would not play the game at the fastest possible speed, and this is the first game where I've augmented my speed, and I didn't remember that speed was adjustable. So if you're about to comment what the hell I'm talking about when I called the game frenetic and fast-paced, just know that for me, this was the speediest Doom I've ever played. Though I believe the rest of my points in this essay still stand. What's more, this excessive and messy pace of battle aligns perfectly with the new medieval aesthetic that Doom has adopted. If there's one thing that Kingdom Come Deliverance has taught me, it's that nothing about the Middle Ages was pleasant and orderly. It was filthy and primal, where life was brutal and nothing was sacred. Now, I wouldn't go so far as to call the glory kills of previous Dooms sacred, but there was certainly something ritualistic about them. The various methods of excruciating execution took on an almost ceremonious air, like this was part of the Slayer's religion. In fact, even the name Glory Kill implies that there's something spiritual about these brutalities and that it's done in the name of a god that the Slayer will one day destroy. But in the grungy and untempered Dark Ages, there is no ceremony or glory, just the unrestrained power and speed of combat, making the lack of ritual in combat feel oddly appropriate, as the Slayer's new setting doesn't feel like a place where violence is sacred, but savage. While the glory kills were certainly a staple of this rebooted Doom series, Doom Eternal pretty much perfected them. And Doom is such a legendary series because it reinvents itself with every new entry. So while they were certainly a defining feature, I applaud the Dark Ages for continuing to iterate on its flawless formula, and I think the results have been exemplary. For more Doom the Dark Ages essays, here's one about the enslavement of the Slayer, and I'll be back in 2 days with that Shield Saw video.